Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over a walk-off with one and going into a little bit more detail on what magnesium is and what it means for you. Before we get into more detail, let's talk about the basics of magnesium. What does magnesium mean for you? So magnesium is the fourth most abundant mineral in the body. 60% of magnesium in your body is found in your bones. Every cell in the body contains it and needs it to function. It's important for brain and body health. It helps fight depression, and it also has anti-inflammatory benefits. So where can we get magnesium? So some common foods that you can find at your local grocery store that I see people eat commonly around are pumpkin seeds, boiled spinach, dark chocolate, avocados, almonds, quinoa, and salmon. So your RDI is your recommended daily intake, and it's 400 to 420 milligrams per day for men and 310 to 320 milligrams a day for women. If you look under each one of the images here, you can see that not all foods are created equal for magnesium content. So if you're getting pumpkin seeds, it's going to have more magnesium than an avocado. Doesn't mean the food's any better for you, any worse for you. It's just we're talking about magnesium. So these are going to be your magnesium-rich foods. Are these the only foods high in magnesium? No. Are these the only foods that have magnesium in it? Absolutely not. These are just a few that I saw at the grocery store, and these are a few that I think can be supplemented into your diet with little to no change, really. So magnesium is involved in over 600 chemical reactions in your body, and studies show that many people do not take in enough magnesium. So what are these processes that magnesium is involved in? So magnesium is involved in energy creation, protein formation, gene maintenance, muscle movement, and nervous system regulation. So all of these involve magnesium. So that's why magnesium is so important. Next up, let's talk about magnesium and depression. So we know that magnesium plays a key role in brain function and mood, but could magnesium play a role in depression? So there's actually a lot of research out there that shows the link between low levels of magnesium and depression. Although there still needs to be more research in this area, I think it's important to go back to the first point that we made, that there's over 600 chemical reactions in the body that involve magnesium. So low levels of magnesium could affect these, and which could affect depression. So obviously we need to take in our recommended daily intake of magnesium. Next up, let's talk about magnesium and type 2 diabetes. So there's a cool study that came out. It had 4,000 people that they studied over 20 years. And they found that people who had high levels of magnesium, or people that took in their RDI, their recommended daily intake of magnesium, were 47% less likely to have type 2 diabetes than those who did not do that. There was also another study that showed that low levels of magnesium impaired insulin's ability to regulate blood sugar levels. Another study that I found showed that high levels of magnesium led to better blood sugar and better hemoglobin A1C levels. So what is the takeaway from this? The people who took in the most magnesium had a lower chance of having type 2 diabetes. Let's talk about magnesium and blood pressure. So I know a lot of people around have high blood pressure. It seems to be a common externality no matter where you go. So one of the easiest ways that we can lower our blood pressure is by increasing our magnesium intake. So studies show that if you have an elevated blood pressure, so if you have high blood pressure, that increasing the amount of magnesium that you're intaking will actually lower that blood pressure. Next, let's talk about how magnesium has anti-inflammatory benefits. But first, let's talk about inflammation. Inflammation is a good thing. You need inflammation to heal, but too much of a good thing could be a bad thing, and that's when chronic inflammation comes. So we don't want to be chronically inflamed. So magnesium has anti-inflammatory benefits. How do we know this? So CRP, which is a protein made in the liver that is sent out in response to inflammation, is actually reduced when you have high levels of magnesium. So taking in that RDI, taking in high levels of magnesium will reduce your inflammation in your body, which is cool. So just by taking in magnesium will actually reduce inflammation in your body, which is pretty cool. Are these all the benefits of magnesium? Absolutely not. There's over 600 chemical reactions that involve magnesium in your body. The few that we covered will definitely not cover them all. But the few that I covered, I think, are going to be the most beneficial in your life to look at your diet and be like, hey, am I taking in enough magnesium? Could I take in more magnesium and get better benefits and health for my life? After all, we want to live a healthy life. We want to live an optimally healthy life. We want to live the best lives that we can live. And I believe that taking in more magnesium will help do this for you. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I would love to help.